My favorite part of the day, the one and only Richard Southern joins us now to talk business, and we'll start with coffee and donuts.
Tim Hortons, continuing its global expansion. We think of them obviously as, this iconic Canadian,
Right.
They're not actually owned by a Canadian company anymore.
Not anymore, but yeah.
And they've been expanding all over the world, and like today they opened the first Tim Hortons in South Korea.
Really?
Yeah. And
Interesting.
they're planning to open 150 Tim Hortons in South Korea.
Wow, and I'd love to know if South Koreans will love Tim Hortons the way they're loved elsewhere.
Well, they love coffee because there's 31,000 coffee shops in South Korea, apparently. They have their domestic ones, the Starbucks and the Dunkin' Donuts are there, so in comes Tim Hortons. We'll see how they do. Timmy's has been opening up stores left, right, and center around the world. They now operate in 17 different countries. This is the 5th market in East Asia, following China, Thailand, the Philippines, and Vietnam. And I was actually in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam earlier this year and came across a Tim Hortons.
Come on.
And went in and actually did a story for CityNews about it. But they were selling, the Timbits and the Double Doubles and the same cups, and it was just like you're back in Canada.
Wow, and was it busy?
It was busy. People were going crazy for Tim Hortons.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But will they love the maple donuts the way we love our maple donuts?
I don't
That's
think so.
the question.
We have a certain affinity. The company's owned by 3G Capital out of Brazil, so it is this big multinational thing now.
I still think of it as ours,
Me
though.
too.
All right, other news, and of course this is Rogers News, and we are owned by Rogers. We have to be
say that.
open about that.
Or we might not. We might disappear. We might not be here tomorrow. No, that's not true. But we have some good Rogers news to share. In that, this is actually really cool. The company performed the very first cell phone call between a regular cell phone and a satellite. This is something new that they're getting into. There's a company called Link Global, and they have the satellites in orbit. And Rogers and Link, they did this, the first call, in the same spot in Newfoundland where the first transatlantic telegraph was sent 150 years ago.
Fascinating.
So starting next year, Rogers is going to allow texting via satellite and then move to voice and data. And the idea is to deliver cell phone service to the many parts of Canada, as it turns out, that don't have cell phone access, be it on country roads or in cottages and all this. There's a lot of Canada that isn't covered by cell phones.
That's
now
right.
It's going to be.
Fascinating, because we have a lot of rural areas that don't have great coverage.
Even in cottage country in Ontario, you drop out. So this is big news.
Okay, big news. All right, last but not least, don't tick off a Swiftie. Do not tick off a Taylor Swift fan.
And Taylor did tick off some Swifties.
She did, okay.
The whole Ticketmaster fiasco.
Yes.
Remember that?
I do.
With the Eras Tour, you couldn't get the seats and the bots took over. And one Swiftie ended up suing Ticketmaster and Live Nation, the parent company. We found out today the suit was dropped. It's unclear if there was a settlement reached. However, the two sides did previously say they were engaged in settlement discussions. Live Nation did apologize for all the snafus with the tickets. They're promising to fix it, but Washington and other countries around the world are looking into this, and fans still do complain about issues like this.
But why is one fan suing Taylor Swift now?
Well, they were suing Ticketmaster.
Oh,
over this.
I thought you said that they were also upset with her.
Well, upset with Ticketmaster, maybe Taylor's involvement thereof.
But she's so popular. It's really hard to keep up with that massive demand.